horror movie?
What?
Let's make a horror movie?
I wonder what we'll be like then. Brains in jars, I'm going to guess.
We're a long way for God now, son.
Slowly
Coming out of his mouth.
crawling out
Yeah,
of his
that's
mouth,
fucking
stretching
cool.
his skin.
Nice. So he doesn't save them, the bridge goes down, people die, and he's like, oh well, job done. Clarence?
Can we try take two again?
Yeah. All I'm saying is maybe don't trust sentient hats to make life-changing decisions, but...
Thanks for your correspondence, J-Tops.
Hello and welcome to episode 12 of Let's Make a Horror Movie.
Hello.
That's John.
Yeah, I'm John. That's Dave.
Yep, and this is the Nonsense Podcast, where each episode we take it in turns to pitch the other one a horror movie idea, a first draft, and one that welcomes any and all improvements, both from the opposing host, but also from you LMAHMians out there.
I think emphasis on the improvements, though. We don't want any old shit. We're like, oh, make it about robots or something.
So, like, if the movie is like Jeff Buckley's Grace, this is
Yeah.
like Jeff Buckley's sketches of Jeff Buckley. Don't
Yeah.
know if that's going to land with probably 0.3% of
like-
anyone
it's
that listens to this podcast.
Landed with 0.5 in the room.
There you go, you're missing out, because
Yeah.
you know what? Sketches of Jeff Buckley has, or I think it's just called Sketches,
Does he?
has some good tunes on it.
Is he
It's got
quite a good
satisfying-
model?
Is he a good model?
Yeah. It just,
Oh, I see. Good one.
I'm
Good one.
trying to join in.
It's brilliant. It's brilliant. Look,
Keep that in.
don't take my not laughing as a sign of that not being
Oh
funny.
yeah. Oh, no, I've always given a laugh that way. It's just the laughs people aren't doing. That's what I'm playing to.
The sub laughs.
Yeah, yeah.
Like subtext.
Yeah, yeah. Don't come home afterwards and go,
the
oh
la-
fuck, he was funny.
Yeah, the laughs are all implicit.
Yeah.
3 acts. The first act is we get feedback on last week's episode, as in the pitch that we did in last week's episode, which was John's Halloween
Yeah.
pitch.
Not my strongest, but it had its moments.
Education of Ellis. Well, don't worry, John. I'll make you feel great with my one today.
Phew.
So yeah, so Act 1 is that. So if you didn't hear last episode's pitch, then yeah, up to you if you want to listen
Yeah.
through Act 1 or you
Still
want to.
there.
Yeah, well, it's still there. Go back, listen to Act 3 of the last one.
Yeah.
Jump back in at the start of this one. You're golden.
Do your homework.
You li-
Is what we're saying. Don't come and do it half cocked.
Act 2, John and I cover off all the things that we think are culturally interesting to
Yeah.
people who are similarly minded.
And we've had 3 weeks of culture, so it's going to be a lot to cover.
Yeah, I was actively avoiding mentioning the fact that we're a week late with the podcast, but, you know, I don't know if J-Dubs gives a
Mate,
shit.
Transparency in all things. That's what I'm all about. I'm practically cellophane at this point.
Yeah, well, that said, I have commissioned a report on why it's 3 weeks late, but I won't be releasing it till after this podcast airs.
Of course not. No.
Yeah.
I mean, it might skew the results.
It might skew the results, exactly. And we don't want that.
No,
'cause
not with facts.
we're a bunch of fucking crooks. So anyway, look, we're a young podcast. We don't really know what we're doing, but we try and garner audience participation.
So, in using the age thing, it's episode 12, so we're not quite a teenager yet. We're starting to sprout, starting to bud.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. So and Act 3 is the pitch itself, which this week or this episode,
Yeah.
if you like, is my turn. So hello, get ready,
Yeah.
strap in for some weird shit.
Yeah, it's going to be fun.
Yes, it's actually not that weird today.
Ooh, that in itself is weird.
So smoke a horror doobie, get comfortable, do what you do. You know.
Sometimes there's an Act 4.
Sometimes
So-
there is, and there may be in this one. Who knows? We'll just fucking find out.
We got no idea.
We'll find out. Also, if you hadn't guessed, it's quite a sweary podcast, so
Oh, fuck yeah.
I'd say parental guidance. You know,
Yeah.
parental guidance. I mean, don't stop the kids from listening.
Well, they're
'Cause
going to
it's
learn a
just-
few
it's
things.
it's like a reflection of life. Exactly, they'll
Yeah.
learn loads.
Yeah.
Um,
You can't keep them safe forever. I've always said that.
Without further ado,
Yeah, no more do to be done.
no more do's doing.
Yeah.
No more duns doing. I don't know where we're fucking going with that.
And Act 1.
Welcome to Act 1, everyone!
Yay, hello.
Yeah, so those of you who listened to last week's episode, this is relevant to you. Those of you who didn't, either enjoy this next bit or skip to Act 2.
Yeah.
It's not lost on us that for new listeners, the podcast is structured in, I think the technical term is arse about face.
Yes. Yeah.
And so, you know, it's climbing a hill
Yeah.
to actually get to the point. We're not making it easy for you. We're also horrifically dislikable people. So
If you're not sold already, you will be.
yeah. This week we've had an email from North of the Wall Scottish correspondent J-Dubs.
Hello, J-Dubs.
Hey J-Dubs, thanks for your input as always. Happy November, fuckers.
Yay! Happy November to you as well.
Thanks, J-Dubs. Accurate.
It is November, and we are happy.
And I would class myself as a fucker,
Yeah.
but don't ask me for a definition. So he says, regarding Anubis, not sure how best to play the feedback on feedback, so I provided...
I remember that.
Yeah. So I provided a couple of choices for you. Oh, John's putting his seat on.
Yeah,
So
getting
you
comfy
get that
for this.
done, John.
Because there's some tension out in the fandom already.
So for those of you who did hear last week... oh, bless you.
That was more of a cough, but...
Well, I
I'll
don't know. I
take
mean,
it.
I
I'll
didn't
take
really...
it.
I was disingenuous, didn't mean it.
Yeah, so just so for any listeners up to speed, J-Dubs gave some feedback on episode 9, from the 9's pitch. That was good, but it also changed the movie. And then we had some feedback from another fan, Alex, who didn't like that feedback. And then I'm assuming this is the...
Well, then I organised the street fight.
Of course.
So
yeah.
it was very much like... You ever seen The Warriors?
Yeah, I've seen
Yeah,
those.
it was like that. It was like, hey, man.
Come out and play.
You want cool cats, man.
Have you seen the Warriors?
Anyway, so we had I'm going to say listener on listener or LMAHMian on LMAHMian.
Yeah. John on John. Spat.
It says, not sure how best to play the feedback on feedback, so I've provided a couple of choices for you. Consider this a choose your own adventure.
Ooh.
Pick your favourite response, however it best fits your own vision of J-Dubs. No. Option 1. Fuck all y'all.
That one.
Yep. I do not appreciate...
Don't even hear number 2.
I do not appreciate the pretense of this podcast being open to collaboration and change if you close down any ideas which are beyond a bit of padding and actually change the direction of the pitch. Kill your darlings, bitches, and open your minds to changes in your pitch, you cabin-dwelling pagans. Other listener, step up, yo. Damn game up. I'll welcome no judgment from those too weak to respond to all the episodes. Come at me when you have made a worthwhile contribution to the pitch or even said anything of note that doesn't get left on the cutting room floor. Fuck this. I am off to collaborate with Stephen King. We're thinking of making a movie of the... I've lost it. We're thinking of making a movie of the audiobook of Alien 3.
That'd be good. I'd watch that.
I would love to see that.
Yeah, I would love that.
My title, I'm thinking, and it's a bit left field.
Yeah.
Aliens 3.1.
I was going to say 3.5, but we're
3.5.
very similar mindset.
Let's do it. Yeah, let's meet in the middle. 3.3.
Yeah, 3.3 Redux.
Or 3.25. Option 2 for the choose your own adventure response. Sounds like my suggestion for a bit of backstory was not embraced by all. Fair play. There is clearly a strong vision behind this pitch, and I may be aiming too lowbrow with my suggestion. Certainly a lower production cost to keep the movie set in one location adds to the enclosed tomb feel of the film.
Yeah, that's cool.
Great to hear that I've gathered agreement on any of my previous feedback and enough disagreement to warrant a response. Love the song-based titles, Alex. Please keep up the good work. So
Yes, it's very decent of him.
Such a nice guy.
He admitted he was wrong.
Yeah.
And has stepped back and thought, no, I've made a mistake.
And he's killed fewer than 5 people.
Yeah.
So, in this day and age,
Yeah.
he could easily be a prime minister.
For a friend of yours, that's very much below the average.
Mm-hmm.
He's skewing the figures.
That's it.
Great feedback so far.
I was just going to say, just on the first option, his response where he sort of says, fuck all y'all, kill your darling stuff. I'm open. You change my pictures any way you want. That's the whole point of the podcast, from my perspective anyway. We may say, oh, that changes the film as it was conceived at the time. Fair enough. I think that's a fair comment to be like, this makes it like that, and that makes it like
I don't
this.
know what I think it's a fair point, because actually I think it's probably come clear the amount of times I've mentioned it on air. That was probably my favourite of my own pictures, and probably the one that is, in a sense, my darling.
Yeah.
So it's probably the one that the feedback probably wasn't as welcomed.
Well,
I mean, as in that's my fault, and I think you might be right.
Well, my feedback for that pitch was, I think you should get rid of Anubis and replace it with Michelangelo from the 80s, or 90s rather, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle
You played
film.
that hard.
The film
Really.
version, specifically.
Yeah, you had a meat and pizza, didn't you? Staring at people.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. So, and I still think it'd be better.
Well, I mean, we all represent death in different ways.
So J-Dubs goes on to say, regarding the pitch, this would be last episode's Education of Ellis.
Yes.
So he says, okay, he says, what is, quote, reasonably, end quote, religious, question mark.
So I would say, so they aren't like evangelicals. They're not like...
I'm guessing that you used the term or phrase reasonably religious at some point in your pitch.
Yeah, because I didn't want to paint them as being basically kind of like hard right evangelical sort of... It's not like Footloose, but with religion. Didn't they hate dancing in that?
Well, yeah, they do.
Really funny about dance. It's not like that, but religion. I could probably find a better metaphor. So I think as an audience, you wouldn't be turned against them immediately. You would be like, okay, these guys are closed-minded fuckwits. You'd be like, okay, they're broad. Because also it's a relatively
they have a religion, but they're not
place.
Insane about it. Is basically they're not completely irrational like those at the sort of towards the edge of it.
Yeah, because the point wasn't to be a kind of anti-religious thing. But I didn't want them to be painted as being sort of like closed-minded bigots.
Yes.
So I suppose, however that would be shown.
So they have the slightly more modern version of Christianity where they just pick the bits they like, ignore the bits they don't, and then everyone's happy because they're not stoning gays to death.
Exactly. Yeah.
He accurately follows that up with, maybe this is a rabbit hole of a question, but come on. I'm adding the emphasis. He says, I've been the blood drawing as there are very few people who would survive a jaw break heart pull long enough to draw a picture. Do you remember I think you said that they sort of... And I did question, because you had them drawing an upside down faced demon in their own blood on the floor after they'd had their jaw broken and, well, possibly the heart pulled out. I can't remember if you specified that.
I think at that point the heart wouldn't be out. But no, I think that's a completely fair point.
He says, I think it's pretty much just Chuck Norris. Maybe someone overhears one of the kids calling the teacher's name. This could be misunderstood to mean that the kids were calling for help rather than calling her out as the attacker.
That's perfect. I think that's really good. And I think also you could, because the kids would have been under the sort of pressure of being stalked by these creatures for like a lot of the second act, you could have them actually just have the upside down thing in a kind of like notebook.
Yeah.
And change it. Yeah, I think he's completely right.
There you go, J-Dubs, eh?
Yeah.
It's not all bad.
Reputation saved, mate.
Reason for the demons choosing the town. Dave nailed it, to be honest. Thanks. White spell gone wrong leads to a weakening of the barrier between the worlds. The first death allows kicking down the door for the arrival of some more demons or the permanent arrival of the demon teacher into the community.
Yeah.
Follow this with gradual infiltration into the town. The kids are the focus here, so the teacher will have to be feeding on them to grow in strength slowly.
Yeah, that's cool.
Or persuading them to perform the rituals that allow the opening of the gateway. That's quite a cool idea too.
I completely understand.
Somehow, if they don't realise what they're doing, you know.
I mean, this is the thing with that pitch. There's a big gap in it in terms of what the creatures actually are doing.
Obviously, the barrier is weakest at the climax of the film, allowing more demons to enter. Maybe Halloween, but that's a bit on the nose.
Yeah.
You'll have to draw out the timeline in the early acts and make the open a flashback.
Yeah, nothing like that definitely works. You could do it so it's set to be immediate, but actually through context you could say that actually happened like 6 months ago.
Right.
Yeah, I think that's cool.
It goes on to say, jaw break heart pull deaths are pretty inexplicable. You'd need to weave in some demon infiltration to cover up the crime scenes and cause of death.
Yeah.
This would further isolate the kids and draw them towards the seemingly safe haven of the teacher, who might be a bit ageless and appear unchanged by years between the flashback opener and present day.
Ooh,
that's cool. So he's really extending the timeline, which really I think could work really nicely, actually.
I think he's also sketching in a lot of detail that I neglected to do, which is very well as well.
Well, look, it's an audience participation podcast.
That's what I was doing.
So, I should have said, if you want to shout at us, add to the pitch, critique it, criticise it, dick pics or whatever, let's make a horror movie at gmail.com, LMAHM pod on Twitter, and let's make a horror movie on Instagram.
Yeah. Welcome all correspondence. I mean, what I was thinking is that I've been given too many perfect pitches. Too many ones where it was just built from the ground up and solid as a house. I thought, no, you know what? I'm going to give people a chance with this one.
Yeah.
And just leave
leave some bits hanging.
Yeah.
I've taken exactly the same approach there. I had a perfect movie pitch written and then I binned it. Just got rid. I was like, it's too complete.
I just took out entire sentences out of this one. And actually J-Dubs put them all back in, so well done.
Almost verbatim.
Yeah.
So he says, love the epilogue, makes the movie. What was the epilogue again?
So they go trick-or-treating and parents are dressed up as like the
it's the
creatures,
demons.
and then the kids have got like I realised that was really cool, and I thought if only I'd had that in my mind when I wrote the whole thing, it would have been better.
Well,
but
you live, you learn.
Yeah.
And it's not like you have to spend a year or so writing the script.
Fuck no.
Titles. I really think you nailed it with the chosen title. However, you could consider Harpies in Birmingham in Colorado. Or in Dublin or Preston if John is still shitting it because people have died in America.
Yeah, particularly topical every day. Sorry, go on.
So in the fourth act, which was basically the kind of pitch post-mortem, we came up with, we somehow started just yakking crap about people who've got
You asked for more
verbinated, verb-based surnames or doing things. So he's put with nail, Shakespeare, Fry, boycott. I'm not reading it out.
Fry's good. I'm boycott.
Hitchcock. Potentially painfully, but Scottish ones.
Only potentially.
Walt Disney. Oh yeah, Walt Disney. Doesn't he do that? Thomas Muller. Muller? Is he mulling stuff over? Maybe is that what he's?
But then that's a noun because a muller mulls. So he'd actually be that. So you fucked it.
But I don't know. You could be mulling something in the same way that you could be pert-weeing.
But if you're a muller, then you are somebody who mulls, and that's a noun. So the verb would be to mull. So it only works.
Oh yeah. All right. Well, I mean,
we're
getting rabbit hole in
furious.
this. And then he just signs peace and love. Please don't send any more letters, J-Dubs. Thanks, J-Dubs, for your feedback.
Fantastic feedback as usual.
As always, I think all of that feedback was actually really cool. Obviously, apart from your screaming option 1 retort, which I added a bit of sauce to.
Although I couldn't see that written on the email, so was that just you?
Yeah, I'm just ad-libbing. Yeah, so welcome to Act 2, I guess.
Yes, hello. Straight off the bat, I've been playing Death Stranding quite a lot. Why that? It's a huge deal. It's fucking good though.
Yeah,
it is good. I mean, it's not for everyone for sure, but it's good. I've been enjoying the shit out of it. I'll be honest, if I may be so bold.
Yeah.
No, I really like it. It's really, really good.
Well, that's good.
But as I say, it is not for everybody. If anyone wants to get it, do your research. It's going to put some people are going to find it interminable, and I can understand that. But I full 10 out of 10.
Well, I'm happy for you.
Thank you.
I have been reading. Well, I actually. So we started following Tom Cox on Twitter.
Yes,
I don't know if you're familiar. For anyone who's not familiar with Tom Cox, he's an author, British author.
You've had some lovely exchanges with the man.
He's a very funny chap.
He seems very nice.
A friend of mine recommended his book. Oh God, probably about a year ago. Save the Witch, which I really enjoed. Which was a book of short stories. Which I have I quite often recommend books of short stories on here. So. But anyway, that's great. But he's got a new one out called Ring the Hill, which I managed to get him to sign a copy of for me, which I'm particularly pleased about. Yeah, but I've been reading that all week, and it is a joy. Is it short
stories again?
Not quite. It's
medium stories.
It's fucking. I don't know where to start. It's very It's sort of very biographical and sort of about him and his life, but also about nature.
Oh, nice.
And the world's animals.
But like Jeff Vandermeer. I mean, obviously he subverts it
in the sense of the love, the pure unadulterated love for nature.
Yeah, because I think
comes out strongly, just like Vandermeer's work does.
Yeah, because he's got a lot of his stuff about our relationship with nature.
But this is not fiction per se. Okay. It's very much about him. It's very funny. It's an absolute delight to. I should have probably written a little blurb to try and figure out how best to describe it.
You're doing great so far.
It's just a joy to read. It'll really make you smile, and you know what? It's a really nice sort of medicinal book for the times that we're struggling through right now. So I can't recommend that enough. And if that doesn't sound like your cup of tea, then go for Save the Witch, which was his previous book, which was also fucking great. Other than that, we watched LLC Hell House 3.
Yeah, fantastic.
Or is it the other way around? Is it Hell House LLC?
It's Hell House LLC.
There you go. What does LLC stand for again?
Limited something company. Limited liability company.
Right. Fair enough.
Yeah,
I mean why not put that in the title?
It's not funny.
Yeah,
but it is true.
Not funny.
Yeah.
Or necessarily brandy. or like marketing-y. But hey, they're good movies.
They are really good movies. Yeah, don't let facts hold you against those movies. They are very good.
No, there was a scene in this last one which I found genuinely terrifying, and I just thought it was wonderful. And I think what's really interesting about these films is that they do a really good line in horror without jump scares.
Yeah, really honest horror.
Yeah, really good. And you know what? This is going to sound like a really weird, possibly slightly backhanded compliment, but there's something, all three films are set in the same location, which is a hotel, an abandoned hotel.
It's a hell house.
Well, it's an abandoned hotel.
Yeah.
It's not very big, and you've got 3 films set there, and each of the 3 films, and it reminds me of when you get a really good sitcom and they do an episode which is just all in the one room or all in the one place.
A bottle episode.
A bottle episode. Is that what they call it? Yeah. I could name examples. There's a Seinfeld episode in a Chinese restaurant. There's a One Foot in the Grave episode where they're in a car on a motorway.
Frasier's got a couple.
Yeah, there's a lot. So yeah, Hell House 3 and 2 and 1. Yeah. Knock yourselves out, folks, if you haven't seen them, but obviously any horror fans will have, I'm sure.
Yeah, they are great.
Did you watch any horror then? Or any on...
Shit, I did. I watched the biggest horror release of the last few weeks, Doctor Sleep.
Which people on Twitter do seem to be quite liking.
It's brilliant. Yeah. I'd rate it. It's really good. It's odd.
Odd's fine.
But it's very different. Like, it's the same as the book until the third act. And the third act of the book has its problems, and the third act of the film has different problems, but they're both brilliant. And so I don't know what point I'm making. Really, they're both great, but they're both equally great and flawed in different ways. If that makes sense. But by and large, they're brilliant. Ewan McGregor's best film for a good long while. One of your Kingsmen.
He is, and therefore automatically great. Yeah. How's his American accent in it?
It's not the best, but it sounds like it's less jarring than previous work. So I think improvement has been made, and Rebecca Ferguson absolutely steals the movie. She's great in it.
Tweet us, because we like stuff, but we're not omnipresent. We're omniscient, which is right. I don't know. We don't have perfect knowledge, as they would say in economic circles.
Yeah. I think, isn't omniscient all powerful?
Could be.
And omnipresent is everywhere.
Write in and tell us, folks.
But then what's omnipotent? Omnipotent is all powerful.
What's obliminip? What does that mean?
Yeah, who knows? I don't know where to start.
Also, new words. If you've got new words, we want to hear them.
Oh, yeah. Are you losing your mind?
I'm gonna. My new word today is prinks. Prinx. If you want to find the definition out, just tweet us at LMAHMian.
It will surprise you.
Oh yeah. It's a
quite a slur.
Proper cliffhanger.
Prick.
Prinks.
Yeah.
Not pricks.
Yeah.
That's you. You're doing that, John.
Sorry, I'm making this gibberish.
Prinks. Yeah.
New
word. Got any new words? Tweet us new words.
Yeah.
What's your favourite non-existent word? At LMAHMian, or let's make a horror movie at gmail.com. We'll read it out next time.
You got any more shit to say, everyone? Just throw it our way.
Welcome to Act 3. This is the
Hello.
act. That's John, in case you forgot.
Not just John.
This is Dave. Going to start with a caveat. Because I think we always do now. It's becoming a part of the show. Caveat time. So it's a bit loose, this one. I knew what I wanted to do. Not sure I got anywhere near it. But I think I could say that about all of the pictures.
Yeah.
I think that... But this particular pitch probably succeeds or fails on the strength of the characters and their evolving relationship between themselves and the circumstances that they're in.
Interesting.
But as this is just a pitch, they're very loosely covered.
Of course.
Yeah, I can't be spending 2 hours trying to describe the intricate relations between character A and B.
I mean, this is not our actual job. This is just a thing we do.
Sadly, this is not our actual job. So anyway, I've been mulling the idea around for about 6 weeks, and then just as I was starting to write it, a documentary actually dropped on Netflix all about this exact topic, which I haven't bothered to watch because I thought it might colour my sort of approach. There's going to be the need to flesh it out, whether that's LMAHMians, J-Dubs, or whoever else, or whether you just do it in your mind.
Yeah, your mind's eye.
Yeah.
Go on a journey with us.
Exactly. Yeah. Go on a journey in your own mind.
Hold our hands and skip
Make this better. Just use your imagination to make this a real cracker of a horror movie.
You do the work.
So, here we go. Act 1.
Yeah.
We start up a mountain.
Ooh.
So I'm thinking a range, but it could be large hills. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. What's the definition? 1,000 feet? I don't know. I think it is in this country. Yeah. Let's say mountains. Mountain range. At dusk, with a couple sitting in the encroaching darkness, enjoying the view. Rolling hilltops and such towards the horizon, as far as we can see. But then in the distance, in the blurry darkness, we see a series of explosions. After a pause, we begin to hear the low thrumming booms that presumably match the explosions that we're seeing. Clearly they are some way off. Visually, we're seeing flashes of light and a sort of remaining glow from that area, which is all but indistinct.
Are we near to hear any sounds? Like...
Well, that was when I said, after a pause, we begin to hear the low thrumming booms that presumably match.
Just wanted for clarification.
Just making sure that you caught that. Because the question that you immediately followed that with was, is there any sound? So... Good start.
Yeah. I'm strapped in.
Good start.
So
maybe the opening scene needs work. But anyway, it's not finished yet. So the faces of the couple drop as they look at one another. We cut to a flashback.
Yeah. Oh.
We meet Ava and her boyfriend Sam. Ava's on the phone to her mother, who's not well. In fact, she's got the flu. And there's a conversation about whether it's the flu, which is actually a horrific fatal virus, or not. Eva's concerned, but her mum's laughing it off. We also get a bit of exposition around the flu, which, according to the most reliable theory, appeared in patches across the globe in different places at roughly the same time, and has been spreading, they say, like a pandemic.
Ooh.
People in less developed, I'm using quotes, nations have started dying en masse, and there have been military interventions, etc., but also blackouts in terms of internet and communication lines, and thus any news from the areas blacked out as well.
Has it got like a xenophobic name? Because they do tend to.
Just calling it the flu.
So it's not like Spanish flu, Dutch flu, Chinese flu. It's just they're just going. It's just flu, mate.
Let's workshop that at the end.
Yep. Because who do you have it in for?
Yeah. So for the time being, I'll just be calling it the flu.
Yeah.
Just for short. But anyway, so. There's been suggestions that the flu could spread here. This is, between Ava and her mum on the phone. But the government has said that's basically impossible at this point due to all the extra things they've implemented, etc., in spite of numerous incidents in Western democracies.
Yeah.
There's also been multiple terrorist incidents recently, domestically and in surrounding countries, which appear to have no rhyme or reason. And the remainder of the phone call and subsequent conversation with Sam confirms that the two of them are going on a hiking holiday.
To the aforementioned mountains.
Right. Cut back to Ava and Sam still looking at each other, because they were the couple on the mountain. Now the occasional pulse of light against their profile from the distant explosions.
And obviously the sounds. Like a low hum out of it.
Yeah, like a thrumming, booming sort of...
Put that down, mate. Put that in.
Yeah, I'm writing it in now.
Lovely.
There we go. Written in for posterity. Yeah, pulse of light against their profile from the distant explosion. Sam checks his phone and there's no signal. Yeah. He's pretty sure he had signal before, now he doesn't. Ava checks hers, it's the same. So they head back to the tent for the night with the intent of checking for signal and updates in the morning, possibly even heading home a day or so early just in case something has happened.
All sensible adult things to do. I'm on their side already.
The explosions would be a little bit...
It would shake
You'd
your
be like,
confidence.
I don't know, I know this, I know, we're not that far from home.
Yeah.
I know there's not just explosions kicking off as a matter of course.
As somebody who's never gone mountaineering once, I still think I know enough about it as a pastime to think a series of explosions in the distance would be like, that's not a normal...
Yeah, it's not just like the Northern Lights.
Yeah. You go mountaineering.
Is that the Northern Lights?
Yeah,
is that what they look like?
You go to mountain to see explosions. I can imagine it's a bit of a red flag.
Yeah, but so anyway... so they're a bit rattled, they're a bit worried that it could be terrorism, a bit worried it might be something to do with the flu. Cutting to the morning, two guys also on the mountain in the sunlight now. One is posing against a beautiful backdrop, and the other is fiddling with his phone whilst holding it up to take a photo.
Cool.
There's a discussion where we discover that one of these people is an influencer, Nathaniel.
Modern.
no offense to Nathaniels, but I have a real thing about influencers.
Yeah.
And I tried to pick a name that I thought would just be...
You do follow all of them.
All of them?
Yeah. I mean,
oh my god.
If
I haven't got a sort of tween-age fuckwit telling me that I should buy something or that I should live my life in a certain way, then I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
I just don't know what to do. But there you go.
That's you.
So there's a guy. So there's two guys taking photos of each other on the mountainside. Oh no, one of them's taking photos of the other one. One of them is the influencer Nathaniel, and he's the kind of guy I've decided that would make you call him Nathaniel. He won't accept Nath.
Okay.
He won't accept Nath.
Yeah.
Or I don't know what else you call
Nathan.
Annual. Yeah, Nathan. He's not accepting Nat. None of these. He's like, can you call me Nathaniel, please? My name's Nathaniel. My full name. Like that.
Yeah.
You know, like a dick.
Yeah.
So a bit like me. So that's Nathaniel, and the other is one of his keenest followers.
Yeah.
Zeke. That's his...
I can imagine
I feel like
angrily typing this. Just stabbing the keys as you wrote that.
Yeah.
I'll call him fucking Zeke.
I can't claim credit for that actually, because I told somebody what I was doing, and I find it quite difficult sometimes to come up with names that aren't just like Bob, Mike, Clive, and whatever.
Honest names. I would say both Nathaniel and Zeke, short for Ezekiel, are both names of angels. Is that going to come up at all?
Let's say it was intended, but let's say it's not going to come up at all.
A little Easter egg for everyone.
Yeah, little Easter egg for all you
fans of angels.
Fans of angels, and I'm sure we have a lot of them listening.
Well, I mean, they're watching all over us all the time.
Oh yeah. Yeah, because even Lucifer was an angel, wasn't he? Before he disagreed with abortion.
Yeah,
then what? Down you go.
The most beautiful of angels.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like all people.
Pretty boy Roy. So Zeke is his follower. We also discover that Zeke and Nathaniel's carefully planned social media outing is now all ballsed up because there doesn't appear to be any signal anymore. So they can't post, live tweet, live bullshit.
Yeah, influencing no one.
Yeah. So anyway, so they're pissed off. So resolving to just post the remaining things when they get back online later, they head off to some scenic spot to get some more shots. Nathaniel, however, is seriously pissed off. A real brat with a temper as soon as the data stops flowing. So at the scenic spot that Nathaniel and Zeke headed to, they run into Daisy and Marcel. Yeah, a couple who'd come up the mountain only last night. They've been delayed because of an argument over what looked like potentially an outbreak of the flu, but that's unconfirmed. And they weren't sure whether or not to believe the government, who are saying continue as normal, everything's fine.
Yeah.
So they thought, well, look, we're planning to come camping anyway, so they brought enough for a few extra days. But then, just like everybody else, they stopped getting signal last night after those bangs, and they're a bit worried something awful has happened. At this point, these two, as in Daisy and Marcel, are the most up to date in like the goings on. So they had signal the longest, if you like, for it cut out. So even at the best of times, Nathaniel and Zeke have only a vague awareness of current affairs.
We're talking Nathan and Zeke, early 20s, Marcel, and I can't remember the name of the person they're with.
I think Nathan and Zeke, I don't think they'd be much. They won't be older than 26.
Yeah, and then I'm imagining Ava and Sam are the oldest of the bunch, probably early 30s sort of thing. Am I pegging that?
Yeah, I think so.
Just to get a rough idea of like dynamics and stuff. Cool.
So back to Ava and Sam in their tent, morning obviously, or still no signal this morning, but probably nothing to worry about. So Sam encourages Ava to take her morning jog up past the scenic spot while he readies the camp for their departure.
Yeah.
After some time on her jog, Ava reaches the spot where Daisy, Marcel, Nathaniel and Zeke happen to all be there, and they're starting to freak out about something. So although they're just strangers to Ava, she goes over to ask if they've got any signal, as they're the first people she's seen since last night. So this meeting culminates in some intermittent signal actually coming back on, and the news, since the blackout, the signal blackout, isn't good. The flu has come to the locality, and it has gotten worse and more virulent. Wait, how are you saying it?
Virulent.
Virulent?
Yeah.
Virulent.
Yeah.
So it's gotten worse, more virulent.
Yeah.
People have started actually dropping dead in the streets, and the government has told everyone to stay in their homes.
Yeah.
So it's fucking nightmare stuff. There's no explanation as to the explosions, they're not mentioned, but there are clips of chaos and violence on the streets before the video just freezes on buffering, signals cut out again. So signal's gone.
Yeah.
It leaves everyone there in shock. In the ensuing discussion, Daisy and Marcel get to the point of suggesting that they pool their resources and try and sit it out in the hills for another few days, to which, after some arguing from Nathaniel and Zeke, everyone agrees.
Yeah, sensible thing to do.
Yeah, I mean, obviously Nathaniel and Zeke are probably arguing against it because they want to get back and do all their sort of self-masturbatory bullshit online. I mean, I don't know why I said self-masturbatory. Masturbatory.
Yeah.
And even that's generous. They all head to Eva. They all head to Eva and Sam's campsite.
Yeah.
All the while checking for more signal, possibly a little time here for some character development and further exposition. Zeke is filming away for the social media for when they eventually get back online. Act 1 culminates with the group arriving at Eva and Sam's camp. However, what they discover is the horrible remnants of a fight and murder. Sam's dead body is found bludgeoned to death.
Oh no!
And all their gear has been taken.
Sam!
There's blood everywhere. Another stranger's dead body as well. Ill-looking and oddly adorned. As if he dressed for the outdoors in a hurry. Things like water bottles, knives, and bits of kit are hanging off him from some ropes and ties and stuff.
So Sam took one of the bastards down, no?
Yeah, he did. We don't know how many there were.
No, yeah, fair
Good
play,
old
Sam.
Sam.
Yeah, salt of the earth. We'll miss him. Oh, her.
That's true. Could be a her.
Yeah.
So Daisy suspects that it might have been people fleeing the city. Nathaniel and Zeke rubbish that idea as extreme paranoia, and it concludes with an argument about whether or not they should continue then to head back down the mountain to civilization, or not, because obviously their plan was to not do that.
Yeah.
But eventually this argument is won by Ava and her dead husband. I put husband, but your dead wife, whatever you want. They don't know what it's like down there, and she can't just sit here with a rotting corpse. They need to get help and hopefully go through the usual things like funerals and such. It's obviously a very emotionally charged
It's a trying
scene.
time for her.
Well, yeah. So obviously I'm making that sound fairly blasé in the way I'm reading it, but if you what I'm driving at is that obviously that's a horrific thing for Ava to come across and then have to deal with. And then what the fuck do you do? All this shit's going on all around you. You don't know whether it's safe to go back to civilization. Sure as shit isn't safe up the fucking mountain anymore.
You'd imagine that Daisy and Marcella have like taken the reins at this point a little bit, because obviously Ava's like, fucking hell.
Well, she's struggling for sure.
Life's been ripped apart.
So Act 2, if we even need a sort of differentiator, they decide they can't set up camp and sleep here because the game's changed.
Yeah.
There is a killer or killers still around.
Yeah.
I mean, we presume, because it's unlikely that it was 1v1 and they killed each other at the same time.
Yeah.
Plus the missing gear, obviously, points towards other people.
And they've completely not even thought about a suicide pact. That's not even an option in their mind.
Didn't even think about
Fair
it.
enough.
Yeah, it didn't come up.
I mean, maybe like Zeke could put it forward.
Clever Zeke, as they call him. Smart Zeke.
Occam's razor, mate. Often it's the simplest of options.
So basically, they decide that they can't stay there now anymore, and they set off towards the main route back down the mountains to
Makes sense.
civilization.
That's exactly what I'd do this time.
So during Act 2, Nathaniel starts to get increasingly morbid and petulant.
Yep.
He's not enjoying the lack of attention, though of course Zeke is still his attentive lapdog.
Yeah.
Daisy and Marcel are keen to get news of Daisy's parents, while Eva is running on adrenaline and shock at this point.
Yeah.
In the darkness of the next night, as they pick their way carefully through the forest trail, they hear something. Bit of panic sets in as the group splits and then tries to regroup in the darkness, and just as they're pulling back together, someone comes flying out of the darkness and lands on Daisy. There's screaming and chaos. As they pull the person off Daisy, we see it wasn't violent intent, but it's an emaciated man, tall but gaunt, and so exhausted he can't even speak or stand. We see he's ill, really ill, streaming from orifices and the occasional gurgling cough.
Oof.
Another person stumbles out of the darkness, screaming for them to leave this man alone, and in their stunned disbelief they step aside as the stranger gathers up the knackered gentleman, warns them to stay away from the city, to stay away from people, to run if they see anyone else, and to stay off the paths before they stumble off into the darkness.
Fucking hell, shit's getting real.
Shit's getting real. That would be scary, right? That would put the willies up me, for sure.
Yeah.
And
Up to the hilt.
So the next day, I was going to say Nathaniel backs away from Daisy.
Of course. So he's self-serving.
Well, look, I don't want to put words in anyone's mouths here, but Yeah. So the next day, the group rests in a spot with a wide view of the continuing path down the mountain. Marcel is concerned about Daisy because she got basically landed on by someone who's ill.
Yep.
And there's obviously a huge amount of paranoia now about this ill. I mean, there already was about people getting ill, but now that we know it's in town, essentially, or come to wherever, then it's got pretty real.
Everyone's waiting for like Daisy to cough. Basically.
Yeah, basically, it's one of those. Yeah. So I mean, this is not necessarily a new conceit.
No, but I get you.
So Marcel's concerned about Daisy. The group is tense. Zeke is particularly rattled, and Ava is still just barely keeping it together, but they're all trying to get some rest. When the group wakes, they witness a barbaric scene at some distance of what appears to be a group of people essentially butchering other people that they suspect of being ill. Dressed in rudimentary protective gear, like lots of different kinds of face masks and things covering their mouths, in some cases eyes. So it's a whole thing. But basically, what I was trying to do is give a sense of the panic. So people are coming up the mountain. Like that's what we're starting to see, is that people are actually fleeing the city.
Like rats deserting a sinking ship.
Yeah, exactly like that. But it's very quickly escalated. So people genuinely think it's a life and death case. So if it's like me or you, they're killing you. That's basically what's happening. So pretty barbaric scenes there, however you want to do it. I haven't really gone into, again, sort of caveat at the beginning, I haven't gone into a lot of detail.
I think it's good to do it at a distance without getting too in the muck, but you get in a very clear
I think you need to give the impression, but perhaps spare the detail somewhat.
Yeah, because I think it would very much change the tone of the movie. If you had because if you filmed it close up, it would be kind of like almost like an action scene of just like butchering and blood splaying and it would be too frenetic at this point, I think.
So the group flee into the forest, having woken, to see this, because they were moving at night rather than trying to sleep anywhere and then sleeping in the day and stuff like that. So they're up the mountain, so it's not just like an hour down the hill. This is a journey. So the group flee into more forest cover, and Daisy has a moment where she struggles. Nathaniel is on it, and an argument breaks out as they run through the trees. Nathaniel accusing her of being infected, and Marcel getting angry in his responses. Daisy just isn't taking part. Act 2 culminates in a nighttime scene. The group come across a fire in the woods, and as they get closer, they see it's some sort of survivalist vigilantes or similar. They're burning bodies on a big pyre whilst drinking around the jeep. There's probably 3 of them, and we suspect they're the people that have been killing people that they think are infected.
Old-fashioned death gang.
Yeah, I mean, not enough of them these days.
It's rare.
It is rare. I mean, where have they gone?
They're still out there.
Yeah, in fairness, they are. They are, yeah. Grim stuff. So there's a long and tense scene where perhaps Nathaniel or Ava I should know.
It's changed a few times.
It has, yeah. I mean, look, write in, tell us, is it Ava?
Yeah,
I mean, it's spelled the same, so you decide.
What was EVA and AVA?
No, I don't think AVA is a name.
I'm thinking of Ava. Yeah, Ava's a name.
Yeah, Ava, I think, is normally spelled EVA.
Is it?
Oh,
then go on.
Hey, look, tweet us at LMAHMian or email
all you Avas out there.
Tell us, any Avas listening, is it Ava, is Ava spelled the same as Eva? How's that all work?
Right in with your favourite Eva. We've all got one.
Is there a name that's AVA?
I'm sure there is.
There you go. So John's sure there is. Write in and correct him. So there's a long tense scene where perhaps Nathaniel or Ava later accidentally... Oh, sorry, the latter. If it's Ava, it's accidental. But one or other, I haven't decided on this. So again, please send in your ideas. Alerts the vigilante group to their presence. And there's a standoff then where the 3 guys accuse Daisy of being ill.
I mean, can I just jump straight in?
Go, fire on.
I think the argument in the forest ends with Marcel hitting old Nathan.
I like this where this is going.
Nathan
shops Daisy in.
Or maybe Zeke does on Nathan's behalf because he's that much of a
because he's sort of the Richard Hammond, isn't he?
To
Nathaniel's Clarkson.
Yeah, he's a classic Hammond. Yeah. He's seen his alpha being taken down, and he's bitter, and he knows he can't do shit about it himself. Yeah. He's chopped them to
I like that. Let's say that's what happens. So either Nathaniel or Zeke shops them into the vigilante people who accuse Daisy of being ill and look to kill her. They start putting on their gear and shit, So Now, you could play this a number of ways, but it culminates in Marcus killing one of them. As I see it, and again, this is massively short and just sort of notes. Marcel, sorry. I've written Marcus, though.
Who the fuck's Marcus?
Marcel. So it culminates in Daisy's other half, Marcel, killing one of them.
Oh, shit.
Ava actually kills one of them out of self-defense.
And also, she's seen Sam die, so she might be thinking, are these the guys who killed Sam?
Well, yeah. Who knows? But, I mean, I'm seeing this as a really fraught, tense scene with scrappy fighting violence and... So, it's not that Ava just walks over to one of them and fucking kills them. They're trying to kill her. It all just kicks off, and it's like a Royal Rumble.
And they're all normal folk. None of them are like trained, not like military or police or anything. They are.
They're normal folk up to the point where they just have taken it upon themselves to start executing other normal folk.
Yeah.
Which I would argue then pushes them out of the normal folk category.
Yeah.
But they started as normal folk.
Historically normal folk.
So Marcel kills one of them. Ava manages to kill one of them out of self-defense, and then Marcel and Daisy are fighting the last one. It's a nasty business, and no one comes out of it well.
Yeah.
And it ends with Marcus killing the final guy, but being fatally wounded in the process.
Shit.
Daisy also gets injured, and obviously is ill, and is really struggling.
Yeah.
Zeke takes a nasty hit with a machete, but is managing. The scene is exciting, tense, and shockingly gory, I put. So, whoever writes that, make it exciting and tense.
You've got your orders.
It's such a lazy thing to put.
Make it good.
It's such a lazy thing to put. This is an exciting scene. Act 3, then. At least now they have a Jeep.
Oh.
So, obviously, the three guys that they've managed to kill had a car, or a Jeep, let's say, or Jeep type thing.
Yeah, I like Rover.
So Ava helps wounded Marcel to the car, whilst the others see to Daisy. We get a bit of an emotional scene between Ava and Marcel because they both know he's not going to make it. And he asks Ava to keep an eye out for and on Daisy. So keep an eye out for and on Daisy. Because I think he is worried that she's ill. So
and also now a target.
Yeah. Well, Nathaniel is rooting around the camp whilst Zeke is just... the camp of the vigilante people. Yeah. Whilst Zeke is just aimlessly wandering. Because they're burning corpses on a pyre. Yeah. And, Zeke is a small, inconsequentially brained person.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Richard Hammond.
Right. So he's a Richard Hammond.
Yeah.
Zeke is wandering aimlessly around, taking video with one of his few remaining phones, because this guy's stacked to the hilt with all this bullshit. Yeah. Daisy's moaning from the corner. Nathaniel heads over and kneels down next to her. Zeke wanders over, filming. With a smile to Daisy and a look towards the camera, Nathaniel pulls a knife that he's just found in the camp and dispassionately stabs it into a pre-existing gash on Daisy's neck.
Oof.
A gash from the fight.
Yeah.
And she looks on in horror at both of them before drowning in her own blood.
Oh, God.
Turning with a grin, he removes the knife and cleans it on her trousers. Yeah. If you're not helping stop the problem, you are the problem, he says to the camera.
Classic Logan Paul.
This is all happening while we cut back to Ava lifting Marcel's now dead body into a position under a tree. Yeah. And she starts to get the Jeep running. Seeing the approaching members of the group, she's told that Daisy didn't make it either. Before Nathaniel jumps into the driver's seat. So I think we probably get some rising tension here as Ava, who's still struggling with losing her other half, and just now Marcel, pretty much in her arms, is struggling to decide what to do, but ends up just getting in the Jeep.
Yeah, because she's now on her own, essentially.
Yeah, with these two weirdos. So she's in the Jeep in the back seat.
She's the real James May of the piece.
She jumps into the back seat next to Zeke. Zeke is starting to look a little pale, and Nathaniel is constantly pushing at them both as to how they're feeling, with a sort of gleeful vindictiveness. Yeah. We get scenes of them driving down the mountain, and another interaction with some sort of vigilante group and normal refugees. And by refugees, I mean people fleeing the city.
Yeah, people dispossessed.
Yeah. So this all culminates in a whisker escape from these interactions with the vigilante groups and others. And so I don't know, I haven't filled that part out.
I'm thinking like Molotov cocktails smashing on the back windows.
Yeah, I mean, who knows? But there's a few scenes there, I think. Yeah. But it culminates in a whisker escape, and Nathaniel, having turned a bit of a gleeful murdery, kind of bastard in his narcissism.
Fucking losing it.
So as they finally get within distant eyeshot of a highway, so the first sort of proper signs of civilization other than all the people fleeing up the mountain, they're burning down a particularly steep bit of road. And we start to see the full extent of the exodus from the city.
Shit.
People are streaming into the hills in small groups, families, individuals, carrying what they can.
Yeah.
Clearly people are bringing ill people with them too, and you can see fights breaking out.
Yeah.
Nathaniel at the wheel starts to just indiscriminately run people over with the Jeep whilst Zeke's filming it on his phone. After some horrific scenes and a powerful struggle, Ava ends up bludgeoning Nathaniel relentlessly in the head with one of Zeke's larger cameras.
Wow.
Probably a DSLR.
Yeah. Oh,
I'm thinking like, Canon, maybe Nikon, something like that. Big one. Big lens on it.
Yeah.
Heft. Lot of heft, exactly. And as she wrestles control from him, the car veers off-road to a jittery, bloody halt. So, covered in probably matted hair and fucking blood and all kinds of minging, So, hauling Nathaniel's body out of the Jeep before giving Zeke a hard stare, he just stays sat where he is in the backseat. Ava hauls Nathaniel's body out.
I wouldn't let him drive either.
Gets back in and reverses the car. As they're about to drive away, she sees Nathaniel's body move, so she just swings the car right back round and runs him over as they turn off onto a paved highway.
Sorry, she runs over
Nathaniel.
Oh, Nathaniel, sorry.
So we think she's beaten him to death, basically, to get him to stop the car. Right. When it rolls to a halt, like it's just gone off road, and it rolls to a halt, she gets out, and by this point she's on a fucking mission.
Jesus fucking
Because before they got the car, everything's still in a fucking mess. Like our half's dead, Marcel's just died in her arms. Where's Daisy? What's going on? What the hell is going on?
And she's now snapped into
it.
And
she's like, okay,
I'm with two dangerous folk.
Or at least one very dangerous person who's murdering people willy nilly at this point in front of her. So she basically just goes, you know what? I'm just gonna smash the fuck out of this guy.
Yeah.
So does so. Thinks she's killed him. Drags him out. As she gets in to drive away, she sees him. He's moving. So she just goes, fuck this guy.
Nice.
And just minces over him with the car. Yeah. So they run over him as they turn off onto a paved highway, which is largely littered with recently and in progress abandoned cars.
Sure.
I think the final scenes of the movie are of Ava reaching the city, which is pretty much a deserted mess.
Yeah.
Scenes of panic, strewn litter and junk everywhere, burning car, the kind of thing. One scene we get is of a long view within the city. So, I'm thinking like the kind of straight American streets where you can see for a fucking long way. One scene we get is a long view. All of the air suddenly gets sucked out, and then a huge jet followed by a series of explosions like carpet bombing about a mile in front of them. So you just see the explosions that we saw from the mountain a few nights before, we're seeing relatively up close, probably still a mile away, but huge. Just think Apocalypse Now, where the napalm, but on a bigger scale in an urban city centre.
Yeah. I'm thinking Milton Keynes, because there's a lot of straight roads, because it's quite a modern city.
There you go. I mean, you could have it in London, I suppose. There's certain streets, the Mall, the Mall. What do they call it? I don't know. They call it the Mall, don't they?
Yeah, I think they do,
It's spelt Mall. I can get it right. Fucking Mall. Anyway. Everything's annoying me. I woke up on the wrong side of this last 2 weeks, so, apologies for everything that's come before this point and everything subsequent. So you're basically getting carpet bombing of urban centres, and we basically get the realisation that people are killing people en masse. This is not just vigilante stuff anymore. It's not just people on the streets anymore. The government is wiping folk out. It's clearly because of this virus has just gone nuts, and everyone's panicking, and they think the only way to stop it is probably just by killing the people that they think are infected. The Jeep is rocked by the blast as Ava turns down towards a residential area. There's a renewed sense of panic, and as they turn into one street, they see a huge line of heavily armed, suited soldiers walking in a line up the street towards them, with soldiers on the edges of the line going in and out of each house as they pass, occasionally with a scream and a few gunshots.
Shit.
They're basically just cleansing anything and everything in their path.
Yeah.
Looking back towards the flaming scarred horizon behind them, then a pan towards some indistinct figures escaping out of some back gardens from the houses to the side of them.
Yeah.
Then to Zeke's illness-ridden face, She looks back at the military line and starts driving towards them. And maybe the movie closes out with the sound of immense amount of gunfire and screaming.
Yeah.
So you don't maybe see how it ends. That was one kind of thinking. My other sort of thinking was that she drives into the carpet bombing, and into the kind of.
Yeah.
I mean, you could have a really cool scene where she's sort of ahead of the carpet bombing, and you're getting a view from in front of the car.
Yeah.
You know, and it's driving towards you, and behind it you can just see the huge explosions
And
getting closer and closer and closer and closer and closer, and then just engulfs her, and then it ends in
you could have
flame.
it where she's driving really fast, and then just stops and turns the engine off.
Yeah.
And just sells the really
Either way, like what I was driving at was once she sees the
extent of it.
The extent of so she's obviously lost her husband.
She's got no fight.
We remember from the beginning of the film her mum was ill. You know, probably maybe her dad's dead, maybe whatever, maybe it's a single mum.
There's no support.
So her mum's dead probably as well. So it's like there is nothing.
Yeah.
And it's that real feeling of complete hopelessness.
Yeah.
And obviously we don't care about Zeke. She's happy to take Zeke with us because he's not worth saving either.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the movie.
Yeah, it's great. It's a lovely bit of fun.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Nice.
Grim.
Yeah, it's grim.
Yeah, it's very grim.
The only note I'd written here was that the mentions of the terrorist incidents, what I was hoping, but couldn't really fit into the pitch, but I think if you were to try and build out the script, you could, or you can ignore it entirely. But what I was hoping to do was kind of imply that you found out maybe later on that these were... It's essentially government-led stuff.
Early kind of like crowd control.
Exactly, which would not be setting a precedent. I thought that would be quite fun to sort of get that in there somewhere.
I think actually that's a really cool element that I think it'd be nice to sort of touch upon that every so often. That story bleeds out, and then the movie ends with you seeing it. You're basically seeing what's been implied.
Yeah,
for so long.
There's a little bit of that kind of. Well, you got to trust them. They're the government. They wouldn't lie to us. They would tell us what's going on, and then. Obviously the reality is the government tells you what's going on as long as it's in their interests, and as soon as it's not in their interests, then you don't fucking know.
Yeah.
And so it's sort of trying. I mean, maybe I'm trying to touch on too many themes.
No, I think
in the one, but yeah, I wanted to do a pandemic basically.
I think you smashed that.
One other thing I was going to say is hopefully it'll have come across. I think really most of the film is about the interactions between the characters.
I think the relationship between Ava, Marcel, and Daisy is critical. I think because they become Ava's surrogate family immediately.
Yeah.
Because she's just lost her entire sort of lifeline, her entire sort of her partner. And so they're the kind of natural surrogate.
Yeah.
And she's going to... Also, they seem like decent people instantly. And when you've got old Nathan and Zeke sitting in the fucking corner, you're gonna go towards the people who you've got the most affinity with.
Yeah.
So I think that interaction is definitely a huge part of the film.
And I think as well the psychopathy, if you will, it might be a bit lazy to say that, but the degradation of Nathaniel's character.
Yeah.
I think that would be a real theme all the way through. I think that would have a lot of characterization and sort of concentration within the film, because I think that he ultimately he's a bad guy.
Yeah,
but he doesn't necessarily start as one. He's teetering on the edge, and then he's given an opportunity to fall into this.
I think that's it. Yeah, he hasn't changed. It's just the actual context of his selfishness has changed. So whereas before it was treating Zeke like shit and being a narcissist. It's just the context has changed. So this is the same behaviour in a different situation.
Yeah, exactly.
I think that shines through completely. That Nathaniel hasn't gone mad. He hasn't lost it. He hasn't done anything. He hasn't changed. He's just kind of gone, oh shit, new things are happening. Better deal with them.
Yeah.
In his own particular way.
Yeah.
I think Zeke's a very important character in terms of casting, because I think Zeke's oddly quite important. He makes it through the whole movie.
Tom Holland.
Oh, he's too lovely though.
Is he?
Is he lovely? He looks lovely.
Oh, he looks lovely. Oh,
no,
well,
he does seem
that's a great
nice.
sign of someone's character.
No, because I've seen
What's
him...
he look like? Lovely. Oh, he probably is.
Yeah.
Do you know who else looked lovely? Is Ted Bundy.
No, he looked like a right bastard.
Wait, who's the good-looking one that everyone's always like?
Ted Bundy's a good-looking one.
There you go.
He doesn't look lovely.
For fuck's sake.
I would say... Okay,
oh, right. Oh, I didn't realise you were splitting hairs quite so neatly. Alright, he doesn't look lovely, but does he look sweet?
In defence of your point...
Hunky?
No, in defence of your point, I've always attested that Osama Bin Laden had kind eyes. And I dare anybody...
I should have waited.
I dare anybody to Google him and look at his picture for more than... Stare for a full 30 seconds and tell me he does not have kind eyes. It doesn't mean I've got anything to say about his politics, because I think they're clear what they are. But it is an undeniable fact the man had the eyes of a kind uncle. And I think that's the point you're trying to make. Tell me they're not a kind set of eyes. tell me if you... He looks like a life.
Give me that. Give me a closer look.
Look at him.
All right, for everyone that's listening, I'm looking at, for some reason, I'm looking at close-up pictures of Osama Bin Laden's
I've got
eyes.
loads on my phone.
I'm going to say that, right, first of all, the quality of the photos that have been taken of this guy are not of the Nathaniel Zeke level DSLR
different time,
Canon,
mate.
like...
I mean,
different time.
Bin Laden really hit his stride about 20 years ago.
It's within the same decade, and to me, his eyes just look like the dead eyes of a shark. But then that might be just because it looks like he doesn't have...
Oh, yeah, I know.
The bit with colour. He doesn't seem to have any colour in his eyes.
Look at that.
It's a lovely beard.
Can you imagine him bouncing a kid on his knee?
I can imagine him making something out of the beard. Like a hand towel.
Yeah.
A flannel.
A
chamois.
I'm not saying he is a kind man or was a kind man.
Yeah.
But I'm just merely saying looks can be deceiving. Which I think is the point you're trying to make.
That is a loose variant of the point.
Richard Hammond's got a nice smile. You wouldn't know that he's a soulless.
A soulless what? Soulless demon from hell wearing the skin of a poor guy that died many years ago. I think that really is what Richard Hammond is.
He is a homunculus.
But yeah, I think there's a lot there for somebody with a lot more skill than I.
Oh, and time.
And time. That's it. And
no skill is just time.
Time plus skill equals good horror movies.
Yes.
News into fact
Yeah.
doesn't go. So I think that's an all day today.
I think it is.
Yeah, so I haven't come up with any names though. I didn't.
God.
I mean, I don't want to call it pandemic. That seems.
Nah, that's on the nose, isn't it?
Well, it's the Education of Zeke.
I like that. Influenza.
Oh my God, that's good.
It's a little bit of a pun.
Yes, it is. Yeah, thanks for explaining that.
It's got two meanings.
Influencer.
I'm only doing puns now. I've got one.
No.
Flew over the cuckoo's nest. That's all I've got.
What? How is that a pun?
Just put the word flew into the flu.
Oh.
One got flew in the nest.
Yeah, but the problem is that I don't know if I want to call it the flu. You know what I mean?
I wouldn't.
In the movie. Oh, that was another point.
Yeah.
What would you call it?
See, I mean, it's like I was saying at the start. I mean, although I was being morbidly glib, they are quite often racially charged names for these things. I mean,
Spatchcock Gubbins. That's maybe what they would name.
Yeah, I mean, if it was Mary Poppins, it's got the old Spatchcock Gubbins. He's dead now.
He is. Famously.
Yeah.
Oh, there's got to be something. God, maybe it is influenza. It just feels cheap.
It does feel
cheap.
I'll be honest, it does feel very cheap. I don't think it's a particularly good name.
Airborne?
Yeah, Airborne's alright. Could call it Spread.
Like Nutella. And the sequel will be called Jam. Or Condiments.
Spread 2 on toast.
Spread 2 back in the jar. Or the new jar. Alright, LMAHMians. Or Jons. Give us some ideas for names. This one really is wide open for retrospective changing if you've got a real zinger that would really land. That, or if you've got ideas for how to improve or change or, just make it better.
Get involved.
Come round to John's house.
Yeah.
Meet his kids.
Come inside, meet the missus.
Yeah, don't eat the food.
Oh, God. My wife cannot cook.
I was meaning it might be poisoned or drugged.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
Oh no, she cooks.
But it's mostly meth.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, come around and tell him things. and then he'll whisper them to me, and then they'll get on the podcast. On that nautical disaster, email us, let's make a horror movie at gmail.com. Come and speak to us on Twitter at LMAHMpod, LMAHM pod, if you want.
Like my attempts at being funny on Twitter, which is not going well.
Or find us on Instagram and just kind of come and look at some of the random shit that we post on there.
Yeah.
But either way, we'll be back in 2 weeks with episode 13.
Yes, and then we've got our Christmas episodes. We have a couple of Christmas stories for you.
Is that the plan?
Yeah, a couple of little gifts under the tree. I hope so, because I've already started.
Well, no, it's fine. Yeah, I've not got a problem with it. Christmas.
Why not?
Yeah.
I've also got an idea for January as well, but I'll tell you that off mic.
Oh, how exciting! Well, I don't want you to spoil it for me.
Not that exciting.
Well, I don't want it spoiled. That's the only.
I was thinking we could try and do the next one's clothed. See if it makes any difference. Just to shake it up a bit.
Yeah.
It's getting cold.
Well, it is getting cold. I was thinking I'm cold tonight, so maybe we should put some clothes on.
I've been quite aware of it.
Well, I was also thinking of getting rid of my wigs.
Oh no, your wigs are great, man.
But they're so big that they barely fit in here.
But are they wigs if they're not on your head?
Anyway, listeners, thanks for having us in your ears, and we'll see you in 2 weeks.
Bye.
Well, let's make a horror movie.